begin by reminding you of the title of this case. It is the state of Florida versus Max Paulson. It is not Sam Smith versus Max Paulson, and it is certainly not the state of Florida versus Sam Smith, as much as the defense would like you to believe that it is. Mr. Paulson is on trial here, no one else. Now, this trial is, more than anything, about responsibility. On the evening of February 23rd, 2016, Mr. Paulson hit Sam Smith with his car. At the time of the crash, Mr. Paulson said that he felt that Mr. Smith was partly to blame. Partly. What a difference one little word could make. At the time, Mr. Paulson was willing to accept at least some of the blame for what had happened. However, now that he's on trial, his story has changed. Now, Mr. Paulson insists that he is completely and utterly blameless. That seems awfully convenient, doesn't it?
This is a case of ignorance. You heard from the prosecution many hyperboles and misstatements, but you know that Sam Smith is liable for his own injury. Now let me help you remember what we heard today on direct and cross-examination. We heard first from Officer Rudy, whom I know we all want to believe in, but Officer Rudy could not get his story straight on that day. He told us all about the bike laws in Florida, including the no biking signs all around the city.
Max Paulson is innocent. I repeat, innocent. He's a smart young college student with a bright future ahead of him, who just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. It is not Max Paulson's fault that Mr. Sam Smith was illegally riding his bike in a business district on the sidewalk. It is not Max Paulson's fault that Mr. Smith was not wearing reflective gear in dawn on February night. It is not Max Paulson's fault that Mr. Smith decided to just cross the crosswalk without getting off his bike and just slowing down. And it is certainly not Mr. Paulson's fault that Sam Smith collided with his car on that fateful evening.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, Your Honor, my name is Amanda Christie, and today I will be presenting the opening statement for the prosecution. Boo Radley. What do you think of when you hear that name? Someone who is violent? Someone who is a recluse? Someone who is the town creep? A killer? These four things perfectly describe the type of person that Boo is. Everybody gossips about Boo Radley in the town of Macomb. He stays in his house all day because of his violent nature. When he was young, he stabbed his mother with a pair of scissors. Therefore, his father confines him to his house. He is not allowed to stay outside the house because otherwise he is a danger to not only citizens, but children and their families in the town of Macomb. This case today is about Boo, his violent nature, and how he killed Bob Ewell. Let me set the scene.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, Your Honor, I would just like to start off by extending an apology to each and every one of you. Because you have had to sit here and watch this trial as a prosecution team tries to put a hero behind bars. They're trying to put a man that saved the lives of 2 children behind bars. I'd like to direct your attention to our witness, Jean Louise Finch. And now the prosecution team's witness, Jem Finch. These 2 children would not be here today if it weren't for my client, Arthur Boo Radley, killing Bob Ewell for their protection. He saved their lives.
Reversing Andrews v. Building, and Maria Andrews' First Amendment rights were violated. Her freedom of speech rights were violated. And in order to establish this, we must first look at the case law, and Maria Andrews' actions were symbolic speech when she wore the tuxedo from April 21st to April 25th, 2010. And and made a speech about Hendricks High School being a place where everyone is appreciated and a great place for all students. And she told the students to, quote, see the big picture as she held up the yearbook. And the yearbook is important because earlier in April, specifically on April 1st, an advanced yearbook was available to the students to view, and Amber Green's photo was missing from the yearbook, and it was removed as Maria Garden by the school administration because Amber Green wore a tuxedo.
Did the students know that at this time?
Yes, they did know that. In fact, it was noted in the brief that several students, including Maria, were aware that Amber Green's photo was removed. And Maria...
So what did she do to disrupt?
Well, her choice, I'm sorry, Maria, her choice of outfit was distracting to students, and this was a very critical time of year as teachers really needed the students to focus on AP preparation.
So distracting outfits warrant suspension of students, other students giggle?
Well, it wasn't just one or two students. There was a point in, I believe, her English class where the teacher had to stop her presentation twice and then confront the whole entire class about discussing Maria's outfit. And also, during another one of her classes, Maria was passing notes with another person about her.
But isn't it true that in that class, it was the teacher that called her up to the front of the room and kind of put her outfit on display?
She knew that her outfit would be on display that day, and she knew that students wouldn't really focus on her presentation if she were to wear something so flashy
How do you
and
know
so
that?
formal.
How do you know that? She knew that.
Excuse me, that's speculation.
You're
That's
asking us to
time.
infer that?
I'm sorry.
You're asking, you say you could infer.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You
Well,
may not need to follow yourself.
I think it's a good inference that, I mean, why else would you wear a tuxedo to school? Because she wants to obviously impress upon some students that she is trying to convey some idea, whether it's for her Uncle Carlos's business or for Amber, we don't really know. But she wanted to definitely cause a statement with her tuxedo, and she knew she would be doing that, standing in front of the class.
No, because she was still causing a distraction in class.
So then I go back to my original question. Are you saying that because Maria was not a good enough communicator, she set herself up into a situation where she could be suspended for wearing a tuxedo to school?
Yes, because she should know how to communicate her message to the entire student body.
Time.
How you feeling,